Okay, hello everyone and good morning. Welcome to today's webinar on how to use Mailchimp for email marketing, presented by the Mississauga Business Entrepreneur Center. So a bit about MBEC. MBEC is a part of the City of Mississauga's Economic Development Office. We are your central source of information and guidance for small business owners and entrepreneurs. So before we get started, I would like to read out our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the lands which constitute the present-day City of Mississauga as being part of the treaty lands and traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Seneca and Attawandaron, and wider Haudenosaunee Confederacy and Huron-Wendat First Nation. We recognize these peoples, the Anishinaabe, the Ojibwe nations within the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and Huron-Wendat, and all other people who inhabited these lands since time immemorial. The City of Mississauga is home to First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. As a municipality, the City of Mississauga is actively working towards reconciliation by continuing to strengthen our relationship with Indigenous communities. We formally recognize the Anishinaabe origins of our name and continue to make Mississauga a safe space for all Indigenous peoples. So again, MBEC, just a bit more information on MBEC. We are your central source for small business information, resources, and guidance. We are currently providing our support and services remotely, and our office hours are from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. We help out with any free business information and guidance, webinars and workshops, resources and tools, training and mentorship programs, as well as entrepreneurship programs. So feel free to reach out to us for any of your small business concerns. And for more information, you can always find more on mississauga.ca/MBEC. To view more past webinars, such as this one, and training webinars and workshops, feel free to visit us at thefuturesunlimited.ca/small business/training, webinars, and workshops. So a bit more about our team. We have John Lam, who is our entrepreneurship and innovation specialist, as well as Susan Lovelace, who is our small business consultant. So if you're needing any help in any of those areas, feel free to reach out to them. Their contact information is on the slide above. And a bit more ways that you can reach MBEC for small business support and success. Our contact information, our email is mbec@mississauga.ca. Our phone number is 905-615-4460, and our website is mississauga.ca/MBEC. We can also be found on social media at Mississauga EDO on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So a bit more information on some of our services. So we offer our business advisory services, which are also provided remotely. Some of these services include our legal, accounting, business operations, sales strategies, digital marketing strategies, as well as our scale-up services. Again, more information can be found at thefuturesunlimited.ca/small business/business advisory. We also have our Starter Company Plus program. Applications open in July 2022. So the Starter Company Plus program offers free training and business skills development, free mentorship and guidance, as well as the opportunity to apply for a program grant of up to $5,000. So again, more information can be found at mississauga.ca/Starter Company Plus. Applications do open up in July 2022, and we encourage people to sign up for our e-newsletter to be reminded of this date. We also have our Summer Company program, which is targeted towards 50 to 29-year-olds with a business idea. So the Summer Company program can help you launch and develop your own small summer business through free business training and mentorship. There's also an opportunity to receive a grant of up to $3,000 to help with your business getting started. So again, applications do open up in March 2022, and more information can be found at mississauga.ca/young entrepreneurs. And at this time, I will be handing it off to our panelists for today. So we have Sahana, who is our DMS project coordinator, as well as Saleh, who is our DMS squad member.
Thank you, Mona. As Mona kind of mentioned, my name is Sahana, and I'm here with Saleh, and we are both part of the Digital Main Street team. So a little bit about the program, Digital Main Street. It is designed for brick and mortar small businesses looking for digital support. So we provide free digital assessment of your business. We help to enhance your online presence, and we provide free one-on-one guidance, resources, and recommendation on growing digitally. So if you are interested in this program and you are a brick and mortar small business in Mississauga, feel free to sign up at mississauga.ca/digital main street. And lastly, we do have a few upcoming webinars coming. So one of them being how to optimize Google My Business on February 2nd. This is going to be the last one for this digital marketing series. However, future webinars will be posted on thefutureisunlimited.ca/training webinars and workshops. And a few reminders for today's session. Audio is available for speaker and panelists only. Camera display is available for speaker and panelists only. This session is being recorded and available after today's session. Please use chat area to offer comments and ask questions, and please put to all panelists. And lastly, today's presentation resources and feedback survey will be emailed to the attendees following today's session. So without further ado, we're going to get started on how to use Mailchimp for email marketing. And just to confirm, everyone can see my presentation slide. Perfect. Awesome, so let's just get right into it. So for today's presentation, I'll be talking about Mailchimp for email marketing. So there are a few different email marketing tools available out there, but today our focus will be Mailchimp. However, please do your research in terms of which marketing platform works best for you and select the one that best serves your business. And for today's agenda, we'll be highlighting Mailchimp features, best practices for Mailchimp and email marketing, and lastly, Sally will be doing a Mailchimp demo for us. So what is Mailchimp? Mailchimp is an email marketing tool designed to create effective campaigns with ease and efficiency. So Mailchimp was created in the idea of trying to make email marketing more efficient and less time consuming and require less manual labor. So if you are interested in a tool that can just make the whole email marketing process a lot easier, Mailchimp is a great example of one of those tools that can do that for you. So pricing and plans. So Mailchimp does have an availability for a free program. So you can use their free sort of platform that you get access to a few of their tools, such as Marketing CRM, Creative Assistant, Website Builder, and so on. And this tool can allow you to send emails out to about 2,000 contacts. However, you will find that you will start to hit some barriers, or if you're really starting to expand and really get into email marketing, you will want to start investing in either the essentials or standard plan. Something to keep in mind is below each of these prices, it says it's based on, a certain number of contacts. As you increase the number of contacts, these prices will change, and you do have the option to do that on Mailchimp. Next is email lists. So email lists is probably one of those things that can be quite tiresome when it comes to email marketing and maintaining those lists. And especially when you used to do that manually, it required you to, organize it. If someone were to unsubscribe to your list, you have to go in manually to remove them, and to just maintain that list can kind of take some time. However, Mailchimp actually does the job of doing that for you, and especially when someone subscribes or unsubscribes, they will do it automatically by removing them from the list. So there are three main ways to sort of create these lists. These are just three that I'm highlighting. However, there are additional ways that you can create these lists. So one of them being manual upload. So what that is basically you would go in and you would manually enter the first name and last name of clients, and you would also put in their email addresses and other information. Another way to do it manually is to upload a Excel doc, which basically allows Mailchimp to read your Excel doc and will import the information from the doc into Mailchimp. However, the more common and easier, efficient way to do it is by connecting your Mailchimp account to your website and creating an opt-in form on your website that allows people to sign in or sign up for your newsletters that way. So usually if you visited any websites, or you might have one on your own, where you see that they'll be asking for your email, and you just click and subscribe, and then just like that, that email will be sent to Mailchimp, and you can kind of keep a record of it, of all the emails that way. And then the third way is through Facebook ads. So if you're creating any campaigns on Facebook where you are asking for people to sign up for an email, by connecting both Mailchimp and Facebook, you're able to sort of collect those emails as well. Another really great feature that is available on Mailchimp is segmenting client lists. So what that basically is that either you can do this manually, or you can allow Mailchimp to do it automatically, where they will group together clients that fit a certain type of criteria or characteristic. A common example for this is if you want to send out an email to someone who just recently signed up. So let's just say if you want to send out an email to clients who signed up in the past 30 days, you can select that option on Mailchimp, because they'll accumulate it for you automatically and send out a campaign specific to them. So maybe you want to send out a few rewards, or give them access to, or remind them of a few products that you have. So if you want to sort of create those specific campaigns targeted to specific types of clients, either you can create a manual sort of segmented list, or you can use the ones that are automatically created by Mailchimp. Next is automation. So automation is probably one of the best reasons for why email marketing tools are great, is because it creates automated emails that are sent to clients based on a particular action or criteria. So some of these include, for example, as they submit their email, we can then send out a automatic welcome email to them. And that way they know that they've signed up. You can show your thank you, like you can let them know thank you for supporting our business, and kind of let them know a little bit more about your brand. So these automated emails don't require you to go in manually and click, send this welcome email to this client. Instead, it will automatically, as soon as someone signs up, this email will just be sent to them automatically. Other examples would be, sending thank you emails, or order confirmation emails, birthday emails, rewarding customers. These are all great examples, and there are actually quite a few different ideas for automated emails that you can create. And honestly, this is a great way to just keep your customers connected, and you don't have to think of some creative sort of campaign idea each time. Instead, you can set up a campaign and have it just go out every time. Let's just say clients have been, or you've had their email for a past year, you can just send out those emails automatically to them. Next is design. So in Mailchimp, you are able to create your newsletters within Mailchimp and design it within Mailchimp. Their function is very drag and drop, sort of easy to use tools. It does take a little bit of learning to just making sure that you know what are all the different options that are available to you. However, it's you don't require too much code or anything like that. You just drag and drop any components that you want to add to your newsletter, and you can just make the adjustments within the newsletter. So some examples are adding text, images, buttons, maybe your products, and so on. So integrations. So integrations is another really important feature available within Mailchimp. And what that is that you're connecting apps or programs for seamless transferring of information. And a great example of this is if you have an e-commerce platform and you want to mention some of the products that are available on your newsletter. Rather than having to upload individual images of those products and descriptions and things like that, you can actually just connect your e-commerce website to your Shopify site, to your Mailchimp site. And when you're creating that email, you can just easily transfer the products onto the newsletter, and you don't need to do individual product pictures and description, things like that. It really sort of saves you some time, and you get some benefits out of it that way. Additional other ways is through Facebook or Canva. There's other social media platforms as well that you can connect, and each of these kind of serve a different purpose. And then there are some other additional features. Once you sort of really get an understanding for how to use Mailchimp at the basic features, I would start to really explore these features as well to really improve your email marketing campaigns. Some of that includes, looking at your analytics. So when you're sending out those emails, don't just send out those emails and expect it to do really well. You do kind of have to look at those emails and see, are people opening it? Are people actually interested? Are people clicking on the buttons? And these analytics kind of help to see that information and see if there are areas for improvement. Next, you can do A/B tests. A/B test is basically where you would create two very identical emails, email designs and email sort of copy, and you would change maybe one component. Let's just say it's just the title, and you would send these two emails out and then expect to, see which one performs better. So that is also another feature that is available on Mailchimp. And then this last two items are customer journey builder and then behavioral targeting. Again, these are just components that just help to create more emails that are very targeted towards the audience and are very personalized so that so you can increase the chances of your emails being opened and being interacted with. All right, now we'll be talking a little bit about best practices. So first, best practices, segment your list for targeted marketing. I've sort of mentioned this previously already, but do use the segmenting functionality on Mailchimp and really use it even to inspire your campaign ideas. So let's just say you've had clients or you had an email for about an year. So let's just say we have clients that signed up a year ago and you just want to, thank them for their support. Use that as like to inspire you to create a campaign for that. And so look at your segmented list and see how you can create campaigns to really target those specific audiences. Next is to run a reactivation campaign. All that is that, after a couple years, maybe 1 or 2 years, you'll find that your list is accumulating a lot of people that are not actually interested in your services, and that's completely okay. People change their minds, they're not as interested, and that's totally fine. Rather than bombarding them with more of your information that they're not going to look at, and it really affects your analytics at the end of the day, it's good to just check in with them to see if they're still interested by sending in the email asking, are you still interested in subscribing to our email list? If so, please continue to opt in, or if you're not, opt out kind of option. So that allows you to really get a list of clients that are genuinely interested in your business and are more willing to open up your emails and interact with your emails. Next is, as I mentioned previously, you can do integrations. One integration is integrating Google Analytics on Mailchimp. There are already analytics built into Mailchimp. However, if you're looking for more detailed analytics, you can connect Google Analytics with Mailchimp and get some additional results that way as well. Lastly, creating targeted audience advertising. So let's just say you're creating some social media ads on Facebook and you really want to target those people that are on your client list because the people that are in your client list are more willing to, look at your products. Then by connecting Facebook and Mailchimp, you're able to do that. So really start to explore those different integrations that are available just so that you can see how you can, utilize it to its best potential and really target your audience. And then next is automation. Automation gets you more sales. The reason for this is just automation. If you create these automated emails that are based on particular actions, you just are not having to create campaigns constantly from scratch. Instead, you can have these all already created. And then if a client, interacts a certain way with your brand, then they'll automatically get these emails. So do explore automation when you do get a chance, as it can really be beneficial and sort of ease or create some efficiency in how you send your emails. Remove unneeded images. So that's another tip. Images tend to take up a lot of space. One, it can, really slow down your emails opening up, or the image might not even end up showing on some platforms. And then sometimes if it takes up a lot of room, the emails can be sent to the spam folder instead. So I would recommend using about 2 to 3 images per email and nothing too much, and also compressing your images so that the files are not too big. Because if there is any if people are not able to access their emails right away, or if there's some glitch or anything like that, it really doesn't, it takes away from the email, and people are not willing to wait or look for the information. Instead, they'll just go on to the next thing. So it's important that you sort of avoid that by removing any unneeded images and just trying to keep it to about 2 to 3 images per email. Keep your campaign simple. If they open up your campaign, they should be exactly know what it is by reading the title. They shouldn't have to try to guess, and there shouldn't be too many things being thrown at them. Just keep it very simple, have just one call to action and one topic or idea that you're sharing with them per email. Do not bombard them with too much, because that only just does the opposite, and they, rather than interacting with your email, they'll move on to the next email. And lastly, actually we have a few more, but last one on this slide is to authenticate your domain. So Mailchimp creates a domain or a link automatically if you do not authenticate your domain, which might result in your emails ending up in a spam folder. So instead, make sure to authenticate your domain by just connecting your domain. If you have access to your own domain, you can connect it with Mailchimp, and that allows Mailchimp to send it as a email from your business rather than an email from Mailchimp. So use landing pages. This is where if they click on a button on your email, they should land exactly where they can find the information they're looking for. They shouldn't be looking for it or trying to, navigate your website. Instead, as soon as they click the button, they can do what they were looking to do. Some people make the mistake of adding a button that leads them to your homepage of your website, which is not recommended. Honestly, if you are talking about a particular product, but when they click the button, they should be going to that product page. And then the next 2 items is to create a Mailchimp design hierarchy and to size images correctly. So when you're putting in information into your newsletter, just make sure just common sort of design tips is where your most important information is at the top. And then if you need to add additional information, then it goes along sort of the email. Don't put your most important information at the bottom, because most likelihood of someone reading all the way to the bottom is not as likely. So do put all your most important information at the top and then any additional information at the bottom. And then size images correctly. Little formatting issues like, not putting your images correctly or putting in a blurry image or things like that can really make your emails look unprofessional. So do make sure that you put in the correct sizes in there, and make sure everything fits correctly. Make sure your image is not taking up so much room that someone needs to scroll down in your email to see the content. So what I would highly suggest you do is that you create your design and then send a test email, which is an option available on Mailchimp, to yourself, just so you can see how it looks like both on your computer and on your phone, so that you can make any adjustments if there is a need to make any adjustments. So do make sure to kind of look at those little formatting issues to make sure that it does look professional. And that sort of summarizes my part of the presentation, where I talked about just highlighting a few Mailchimp features. But now we'll be actually jumping into the demonstration, which will be done by Sally. And then after our demonstration, we'll also jump into a question period. So I'm just going to stop sharing.
Thank you, Sahana.
No problem. And then you can share your document, no problem? Yeah,
My screen?
Give it a second. Yes, now I can.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Saleh, and I'm a Digital Service Squad team member for the city of Mississauga. So here we are in the Mailchimp backend, and or I should say dashboard, and you can see here that this has a very easy to follow navigation. So if we go into this tab here, we're able to create our emails and other marketing content as well. Here we can view our audiences, and we can build our audience list and categorize them accordingly, which we'll get into in further detail later on. Here we can view our past campaigns and see, what went well, what went wrong, and use those analytics to derive insight and make changes for future reference. Here we can create our automated emails that send via whatever trigger we sent it to, as Sahana mentioned, like the welcome email or the confirmation for the purchase. Mailchimp also has a website builder, allowing you to create your own website to share information over the internet or sell products or services as well. The Content Studio allows you to store files and use them for future use in your emails down the line. So, for example, could be images or videos, or even products. If you sync your Mailchimp to your e-commerce site, you can have product data transferred over, and you can use those products on your emails as well. We'll get into this in more detail later on in the presentation. And last but not least, we have integrations. So these integrations so it's basically a connection between Mailchimp and another app. And Sahana mentioned could be an e-commerce app such as Shopify, or a design app such as Canva. Here are the full list of integrations. Mailchimp has countless can integrate with countless other apps. So I'd highly look through this list here and see which app you need to integrate your Mailchimp with. So without further ado, let's build an audience. So to add an audience member, we'll go into all contacts, and we'll go into add a contact. And as Sahana mentioned, there are three ways to add a subscriber. So the most common way would be an opt-in form on your website or your Facebook page, for example, where the audience member actually just opts themselves in. The other way is via CSV file, where you have a list of first names, last names, email addresses. You only need email addresses actually to for this to upload successfully. Sorry. And the third way is to manually add the subscriber yourself. So you go into add contacts, add a subscriber, and here we're going to add a contact. So we're going to put in their email address. First name, last name. I'd highly recommend putting in what country they're from. Okay, now we're presented with tags. So what is a tag? A tag is basically a way to categorize your audience. And why is this useful? It's because we don't want all our audience members to receive all our emails, because they're not interested in all our products or services or whatever our newsletter is going to talk about. So in our case, we're talking about investments, and Saleh is only interested in personal investments. And so we talk about personal and business investments. So Saleh is a recent graduate, and he's looking to invest some of his money, so some of his savings. So we're going to tag him under personal investments. That way, when we send emails regarding business investments, we won't target him. And the reason of this is we have two reasons for this. Number one, if Saleh is receiving so many emails that he's not interested in, he's likely to unsubscribe. Because there's so many other newsletters he's subscribed to, so he's receiving so many. So we need to make sure we give him the best possible experience when interacting with our brand. That's why we're gonna tag him, and we're only gonna send him specific emails. That's the first reason. The second reason is, if we're sending out so many emails to people that aren't interested, this will inflate our analytics, because we're going to see that our engagement rates aren't what they should be. Because I mean, if we're going to send a business investment email to Saleh, he's not going to open it. And I mean, we can't derive the correct insights based off of inflated or incorrect analytics. So make sure you tag your audience, and make sure you send them the correct emails based on their preferences. So now, last but not least, you must check both these boxes off. And so the first one, this person gave me permission to email them. So according to GDPR regulations, basically what that means is you're legally not allowed to send marketing emails to anyone who didn't give you consent. So that's why we have to check this box off to confirm that this person gave you the permission to email them. Now this won't be a problem if they subscribe on an opt-in form on your website or on your social media because they did it themselves, so they automatically subscribe. They automatically consented. And as well, if this person is already in my audience list, update their profile because you don't want duplicates. So we're going to subscribe him. Okay, so Salia was already in my audience list, so we've updated his profile. Fantastic. If we go into all contacts here, yep, he's tagged. And source admin add because we just added him in ourselves. If you added in through our website or social media or Eventbrite, for example, it'll say the source where they came from. Yes, and they're automatically anyone who's a brand new subscriber automatically has a 2-star rating, and of course they interact with the emails down the line that can go up. And yes, so let's get started with creating an email. So we're going to create. We'll go into regular. Now let's name this campaign. We're going to name it 5 ways to invest your savings. Now this campaign name isn't what your audience sees. This is just used internally to identify which campaign it is you're looking for. Okay, now before we get started with creating the email itself, we need to decide on who's going to receive these emails. So we're going to edit recipients. So which audience? So in our case, we only have one audience. Now segment or tag. Now we're going to send an email regarding 5 ways to invest your savings. So we're targeting personal investments. So we're going to select personal investments. Personalize the to field. Make sure you check this off. Now, so this is the difference between personalizing the to field and not personalizing it. So if you don't personalize it and you leave it generic, the to field would read when your recipient opens the email, to bob@example.com, for example. But if you personalize the to field, it will say to Bob Smith, or the first name and last name, which tends to perform better as you're addressing them personally. So you can select the correct merge tag. You can select whichever merge tag you'd like here. So F name represents first name, L name represents last name, F name, L name represents first name, last name, and you can also customize this as well. So in this instance, I'm going to use F name. So it'll read to Saleh. And every audience is different. So they're receptive to different ways of addressing them. So as Sahana mentioned earlier, make sure you A/B test. A/B test because you won't know any other way. So you must A/B test, see which one are they the most receptive to, and then moving forward you use that. So maybe it could be first name, last name. It depends on your audience. Okay, so we're going to edit the from field now, and it's the same thing now. Some audiences are more receptive to seeing your first name. It adds that personal touch. Some of them are more receptive to seeing the company name itself. So instead of seeing my name, they'd rather see right direction, the company name. So again, it depends on your audience, and again, A/B test this. And here's the email address that will display when they receive your email. Subject. So what is a subject line? A subject line is basically the title of your email. If you're in your inbox, you see basically the title of the email. This is basically used to give your audience member a reason to open this email because they don't know what's inside it. So for example, Saleh is going to be in his inbox and he's going to wonder, what is this email about? Well, it's about 5 ways to invest your savings. So now he's going to say, oh, okay, because I need to learn how to invest some of the money I've saved up over the years. So this will entice him to open the email. And I highly recommend reading this subject line guide to help you with best practices and best understand how to implement this. We also have preview text, and preview text is basically just a little bit of real estate that helps describe the subject. So if the subject line isn't enough, you have this preview text basically to give them a sneak peek of what your email is about specifically. So we're going to add some preview text. Once you have a little money to play with, you can start to invest. So in this case, Saleh just graduated university, and he has some money saved up over the years of working a part-time job. And before we hit save, Mailchimp actually provides us some great subject lines, some best practices. So as I said earlier, a great subject line gives your audience a reason to open your email. So short best practices, some quick ones. It's short and sweet, so subject lines with fewer than 9 words tend to perform better, so we got a check mark for that. Emojis are great in small quantities, so we suggest no more than 1 emoji. We didn't use any. Space is limited. Great job staying under 60 characters, as well as we got the point across without using too many punctuation marks. So we did good, and I'd highly recommend reading this very short blog and gaining more insight on how to implement subject lines. Okay, so now let's get to designing the email itself. So on the free plan, we have 2 free templates we can use. The rest we have to upgrade to use. However, Mailchimp is very easy. You can easily customize it and drag and move blocks up and down, reorder them, add new blocks in, remove blocks. So you can easily make the same templates. You can easily recreate this template. So it really doesn't matter which one you pick. But if you're a beginner, definitely maybe this could help you if you want to make an announcement like a welcome email, for example, or promoting a product. Promoting a product, you would want to use a sell products template. So we want to drive traffic to our blog, so we're going to use this template. However, we're going to make some adjustments. Okay, so here we are, and there are 3 core sections of an email, similar to a website. You have your header, which is up here. You have your body, and you have your footer. Your footer has your social media icons here, and also has some information about the company. So let's get started with the header. So remember I mentioned Content Studio earlier, so we're going to go into more detail here. So the creative assistant allows you to import your brand via URL. So if I put in my website URL here, it'll take a few minutes and it will import my photos, maybe even some videos, my color palette, as well as typography onto Mailchimp. So moving forward, I don't need to keep re-uploading photos and things like this because I have it already available. And as they say here, give us a few minutes and we'll give you back hours. And that's exactly what it is. And again, so my files, you can store images and videos. Giphy, you're more than welcome to use a GIF on your email. Instagram, so you can connect your Instagram account to Mailchimp and use the posts from your feed, and you can put them on your email as well. And last but not least, my logo. So I can upload my logo here. And what this does is whenever I create an email moving forward, this logo will automatically populate on the top of every single email. So let's insert that. The only thing is it might take some time to populate, so I'm just going to click continue here for a second and come back. And as you can see, the contrast between the logo and the background isn't the best, so we're going to change the color of the background. We do it here, so we just go into style, header, background, And I'm going to change it to a dark blue. That's perfect. Okay. So now we're going to edit this text here. And for legibility purposes, we're going to color it white. 5 ways to invest savings. Yeah. And I think the header takes up too much space, so I'm going to remove the padding. So that bottom padding, drop down to 0. And I'm going to even remove the top padding to 0 as well. That's great. Okay. So I'm going to add an image here. So we're going to click replace. So we click the pencil icon to make adjustments. We're going to click replace. Upload. Upload my file. So if your image is too large, actually Mailchimp will prompt you to reduce the size, and you can actually edit the photo here, and you can actually resize the photo. So 800 by 1200 is the size Mailchimp recommends. Okay, so we're gonna edit this. We're gonna add some text. I can change the font here to suit my brand. And I can go with size. Size 24 is too big. Maybe 23 or 18 maybe. No, yeah, I think 18 is good enough. This button here, I don't want it. I don't want it here, so I'm going to remove the button. Now we have an image group here, as you can see they're side by side, but I don't want an image group. I'd rather have individual images, so I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to go to blocks. I'm going to add an image. Before we continue, by the way, it's like if I want this image to be above the text, it's as simple as just dragging it and putting it above it. It's that simple. So, like I said, these templates are very easy to customize. So I'm going to upload another image here. I'm going to add some more text. I think it's better I center the text. Yeah, you can, like I said before, you can color it, you can size it, change the font to suit your brand. I should also center this one as well. I'm gonna add one more image. And as Hana mentioned, don't try to add too many images. 2 to 3 is fine. If you add too many, it's going to slow down the speed of the email loading on your audience member's browser, whether it's a phone or whichever device it is. Doesn't matter. And and one thing you should note: an email, do not make your email more than 200 words. Your email should be short and sweet and to the point. Do not exceed 200 words. This is not best practice. This is not considered best practice at all. So that's why our emails is short and sweet to the point. It's gonna have a button at the end, prompting our reader to visit our blog. One quick trick I want to show you before we add the button is, so I want to add some space between this image and this text. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a text block here, and I'm going to remove this text, and I'm gonna hit save. See, there's a gap now. So that's one way you could do it. Just add a block and add no content to it. Now we're gonna add our call to action. The most important aspect of the whole purpose of our email is this call to action. So what do we want them to do? We want them to read more. And make sure you use something powerful, a verb, telling them exactly what to do. So read more. We want them to access our blog and read more. So We're gonna put our website URL here so they can click on it and go directly to the website. And always make sure open in a new window is checked. So when they click on this link, the blog opens on a new window rather than on the same window, and then they lose access to the email. But basically, so they can have the email and the blog side by side if they want to make references to the email. And the space here is unnecessary. We're going to delete that. And last but not least, we have the footer. So here, the footer is very easy to customize. So we have these social media icons here: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and website. So we can put our website, our Facebook URL here. We also have a plethora of social media services here. We have LinkedIn, Pinterest, Tumblr, SoundCloud, Snapchat. We have so many to choose from. So for example, let's say I don't use Twitter, I can replace it with LinkedIn. Let's say I only want 3 icons. I can remove Instagram. Let's say I want LinkedIn to feature before Facebook. I can reorder them, etc. And you can go into settings here, and you can actually change the style. So personally, I prefer a solid icon and colored. That's my personal preference. But you can use a gray background, a white background, a black background, or the colored background. You can change the layout. This is personally my favorite, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. And this information here in the footer. So as you can see here, current year in square brackets. So it'll automatically populate whatever year it is. So it'll be 2022 list company. So it'll be our company name, and mailing address. It'll automatically populate our address. So in order to preview this email, we go up here to preview and enter preview mode. Okay, so we can take a look at this email, see if we like it. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And as I said earlier, it has our address right here, and it shows 2022. I mean, that's not my business name, but I can go into settings and just easily change that. And always make sure your emails are optimized for mobile, because as you all know, content is consumed over through the mobile device a lot more than it is on the desktop. So make sure it always looks good on mobile before anything else. And I think this looks fantastic on the mobile. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Inbox. So if you have an upgraded account, you can actually view how it looks like on different inboxes. So Gmail, Outlook, etc. Now, before we send this to our audience, what we're gonna do is we're going to send a test email to ourselves. So send a test email, and you'll just put in your email address. You'll click send a test. You'll get it in your inbox, and then you can look through it again in your inbox and make your final decision there if everything's going well and you're ready to send it. And now, let's say we're ready to go. So we're gonna hit continue here on the top right. You can quickly review it. You review all of these here. So we're going to send this email to the personal investment tag. Okay, so the from name is right direction, the company name as opposed to my name. Subject line, no spelling errors, every capitalization, punctuation, all that stuff is proper. And yeah, we have our email. Yeah, so we're ready to go. I'm gonna hit send, and it's out there. And prepare to get some new readers on your blog, and hopefully they'll book a consultation through your blog. And yes, that's email marketing is a very powerful way to drive traffic to your website and generate leads. Thank you very much for your time. If there's any questions, we're all yours.
Okay, thanks so much for that amazing presentation. I guess we can get right into the questions. A few people have asked whether or not there will be a recording available. So there will be a recording available, and we will be emailing it out as soon as it is edited and put up. All right, so the first question that's being asked is the free subscription only allowed 2,000 subscribers and a standard of only 500 emails?
So there is the option. So for the free version, it is just, let me just double check. It is just 2,000. However, for the other versions, you can increase the amount of contacts. It's just one button available on the price page, and then the price will increase because of it. So for the free one, the amount of people is fixed. For all the other options, you can increase the number of clients.
Okay, and then someone else would like to know, are these features available for non-paid accounts?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, everything I was showing, this is a free account I'm showing. But in the case of Sahana's presentation, some of them you need to upgrade to, such as A/B testing. You need to upgrade for customer journeys. You need to upgrade for. Uh, I believe that was about it. Oh, yeah, that's pretty much it.
yeah, as Sally kind of mentioned, a lot of what Sally was presenting today was all on the free version. However, some things that I mentioned today's presentation is on the paid version. That being said, Mailchimp has a very detailed chart showing which is the paid version and which is not the paid version. So I'm sending a link over, and you can sort of explore that page to see which program best suits you.
Okay, awesome. And can Mailchimp be connected with WordPress-based site, like a form on the website?
Yes. Um, you would need to add in. So there's no so the integration you would actually have to add in your own code, but like they provide the code, and there's definitely tutorials on YouTube to help you with that.
Okay. So if someone is uploading a mailing list, will the emails appear as subscribers? So they currently have 2,500 contacts, but the newsletters only go out to about 1,800. So they're just wondering how would they go about emailing those 700 that are missing from the email?
So you can target unsubscribed contacts, and you can send them an email asking them if they'd like to resubscribe, or basically maybe you can either send them a survey. Why did you unsubscribe? They can get back to you.
Yeah, the likelihood that those 700 aren't being emailed to is because they unsubscribed. If that's the case, you would just continue emailing to the ones that have subscribed, because if they have taken the initiative to not subscribe, that probably means that they're not as interested or are not interested for any follow-up emails. So yeah, just focus on the ones that are subscribed to you.
Okay, and if you're uploading a CSV file, can you have a tag field that will auto upload?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay. So is it okay or legal to send cold emails?
I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to when it comes to cold emails, but but basically when it comes to GDPR, you can send emails to whoever consented to receive your marketing content. And now I don't know from a legal standpoint, but of course you should send emails that they're expecting to receive.
And just to reiterate, there are some very tight laws around sending out emails. So please do your research to make sure you're not sending out any emails you're not supposed to. And talking about email laws and things like that can be a whole webinar of its own. So just do take that time to do that research and familiarize yourself with what is involved in spamming and things like that, and how you can really make sure that you are following the rules and sending appropriate emails.
Okay, so next question. So can a recipient choose a version of that email without images?
Mm, no. Um, the most you could do is A/B test. But actually, well, I mean, you could create an email. Like the extent of this is you can create an email, and you can with a plain text email, and you can target that recipient, or you can tag the recipient under no images. Uh, but that's the extent of it.
And if I'm understanding correctly, they're looking to send out just specific, just text only emails, right? So I understand that some people have those campaigns where, they want to seem a little bit more personalized. So rather than having those additional images on their email, they rather just have a text only emails, and that's totally fine. It's nothing like there's nothing against it. So if you do want to send those types of emails, you can just remove the little image tab on the newsletter, and you're able to send those out.
Okay, and if you are sending out an email campaign, how would you go about hiding your personal address from being seen in the email?
In the footer, you can remove that. You can remove it. The square brackets are there; it'll auto populate, but you can easily just erase it and it won't show.
Okay, and if someone responds to that email campaign, will it go into the Mailchimp email or will it go to your Outlook?
Um, if you have a paid version, you can view it on your Mailchimp. But other than that, you can just see it on your Outlook or Gmail.
So when creating an email campaign, can you duplicate a campaign and manually change something instead of using their A/B testing feature?
Yeah.
I highly recommend that too, because if you're using the same sort of format or template, just duplicate some of the designs that you've used in the past and just change in the information, and that's totally possible on Mailchimp.
Okay. And then this is just a clarification for a question we answered earlier. Someone is saying that if someone has unsubscribed, why are they on the contact list? So if you're paying by number of contacts, that means you're paying for the contacts and not getting your information. Is that correct?
Yeah, you should always clean out your audience list. Um, Make sure it's up to date. Make sure everybody is categorized correctly. Everyone's engaged. If someone's not engaged, yeah, just remove them. You
And I
don't need to do
think,
that.
yeah, and I think Mailchimp just doesn't do it for you because they don't know what you want to do with that information, just in case, you want to keep it and, record how many people are unsubscribing, whoever has unsubscribed, things like that. They won't automatically remove it for you. They'll remove it from having to send any future emails to them, but they'll still be in your contact list. So as Sally kind of mentioned, do go in and take the time to clean it up. To make sure you're not having too many emails in there that are not of people that are actually interested in your emails.
The use of having unsubscribers on your list and Mailchimp not removing it for you is because sometimes you'd want to send a survey to them asking why they unsubscribed, or you might want to prompt them to resubscribe. So that's why they don't remove it for you.
Okay, that's good to know. So someone else is asking, how do you track the progress of a campaign if your response goes to Outlook and not to Mailchimp?
So Mailchimp, so they're asking about analytics, right? So basically, the analytics when you look at it, it'll just give you it'll tell you the open rates, so how many people are opening your emails, click rates, so how many people are actually clicking on the buttons, the links on your emails, and those are that's basically what the analytics are there to show you, not necessarily a response rate, because the purpose of the email is to get is for them to take an action on it. So that's yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so basically you can't track anything that like in terms of a back and forth between your own inbox and that person. Is
Like,
that what you're
well,
saying?
On Mailchimp you can actually receive those replies.
Mhm.
So I mean, you can track the conversation, the conversation between you and that audience member. Um, yeah,
Okay.
that's similar to Outlook or Gmail. You have the whole conversation history.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So can you please comment on posting links from your campaign to social media such as LinkedIn? Where does an image need to be placed so that it shows up when posting in a newsfeed?
So if I'm understanding correctly, they're trying to connect their Instagram onto their newsletter. Is that what they're referring to? Or is it the other way around?
So to the person that asked that question, if you'd like to give us more clarification in the chat box, that'd be awesome.
So
So they're
so
saying
basically,
just
so basically,
posting.
so adding like the link of the campaign onto the news feed on LinkedIn or any social media platform. So the thing is, when you like, I know specifically for LinkedIn, if you add a link, it'll auto populate an image. So for example, if I put a blog from Mailchimp onto my LinkedIn, I want to post it, it'll automatically populate the Mailchimp image. So whenever someone's on my page, they'll see the image of Mailchimp. They won't just see a link. They'll see a link and then in Mailchimp, so they'll know exactly what it is. So um, it'll auto populate an image for you.
And I think another great method to do is just to create a sign up page on your website that they could directly go sign up for the email. So what you would do is on your social media pages, you would just create a little story or post saying if you are interested in signing up for the newsletter, just click the link in the bio, and then that link in the bio should lead them to a page where they can quickly put in their email and sign up, and then you can send out that campaign email out to them as well after.
Okay. And are you able to send a questionnaire and get analytics on Mailchimp?
100%. Yeah. There's under the marketing tab or the create tab. So like there was emails, customer journeys, as a website. There's surveys as well. You can send surveys out to your contacts, and they can give you the feedback you're looking for.
And if you use other tools like Typeform, for example, or other survey forms, those integrations are available on Mailchimp as well. So if you want to integrate those two together and then put that instead, that works as well.
Okay. And someone just wanted a bit of clarification on something. So they're saying that it was mentioned that conversations can be traced on Mailchimp, but it was also mentioned that emails don't come to Mailchimp. So I guess they're asking how can the conversation be traced?
So basically, when if you send a marketing email, you can see who replies to that marketing email, because I mean, it's your email address associated with Mailchimp is the same one associated with your Outlook or Gmail. So if someone replies to that marketing email, you can see who's replying, and you can reply to them. So that's how you can trace them.
Okay. So going back to, I guess, the questionnaire question, someone just asked a follow-up question. Is there an integration with a Google Doc?
Google Docs to Mailchimp, maybe,
Um,
possibly.
if Sometimes, depending on what the usage of the Google Doc, if the person wants to clarify why they would connect Google Doc, if it's for designs or things like that, there are better platforms to be using. If they can just clarify why they would be connecting Google Doc, I think we can kind of see if there's a better platform that they could use instead.
So they just mentioned that it would be for a survey.
A survey? Okay. And rather than creating a Google Doc and attaching the Google Doc to the email, I would most likely create the survey within the newsletter, either using, as Saleh mentioned, the tools that are available in the design component, or using other integration apps like Google, either the survey available within Google or Typeform.
Okay, cool. So moving on, the next question. In a B2B company, which steps do you suggest to follow to implement an effective email marketing strategy?
Well, in general, you, regardless of what business you are, 200 words max. Keep it short and simple, and drive them to whatever your call to action is, whether it's a product page, a service page, or a blog. Definitely remain professional. Um, don't act. Be like, represent your brand. I mean, B2B services such as lawyers or accountants tend to be more professional, so you're not going to see too many emojis and gifs and things of that nature. I mean, every now and then maybe, but stick to being more serious. And it really varies between industry. I mean, B2B, there's countless different industries within B2B, as well as there are countless different industries within B2C. So um, the only thing I would say is A/B test and see what resonates with your audience, more so than it does, more so than it doesn't, and go from there. Subject lines, preview text, from names, even the way you order content. So it could be certain audiences are more receptive to text before image, or image before text, or calls to action with a mix of characters, uppercase and lowercase, or all uppercase. Some prefer the calls to action twice. Some prefer the calls to action once. You know, really depends on your audience.
And if I
Okay.
just add one little thing to that, just stay consistent with your brand. So your branding colors, your fonts you use, things like that. Stay consistent with every email. Use the same thing, so that when they see your email, it should just take them seconds to recognize who you are and understand your content right away. So do stay consistent with your brand.
Okay, so as a follow-up to that, for a B2B startup, how do you send marketing emails to prospects whose permission you need, I guess, to send emails that you don't have to begin with? So I guess this is going back to the cold calling and whether or
Yeah.
not you're allowed to
So
cold call through Mailchimp.
you can't send cold emails. You can't send cold emails. You have to get the consent. I guess target them with Google ads or Facebook ads to drive that traffic to your website or social media. And of course, on those pages, they'll be prompted to sign up for your email list. Yeah, you can't send cold emails. Or maybe you meet this client in person somehow via referral, and you prompt them to subscribe. That's it. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. You can always, depending on where you're getting the most traffic, like let's say you have a website, you can always set up like a pop-up, right? Like prompt them to sign up for your newsletter and kind of go from there. Okay, so we have another follow-up to the cold email. Can your first email not go out seeking permission?
I think there are times or moments that you would sort of reach out to gain that first connection. But as Salim kind of mentioned, you will be sort of walking on eggshells, meaning that there are some laws that you have to follow. So just do read up on that before you sort of send out too many of those cold call emails. There are moments where you find some emails through LinkedIn and you're reaching out just to get connected with them, and that's understandable. There are some rules that you have to just make sure um, you're not sending too many emails or sending them too much information or things like that, or taking up too much room in their inbox. So just read up on those rules before you do send out those emails.
Technically, so one email you could technically send before the audience member is officially subscribed is, so there's something called double opt-in, where if they opt in, they actually they're automatically sent an email so they can confirm their opt-in. So this is good to enable you to have a very dedicated audience list, meaning that they subscribed and they even took the time to double opt in. So, I mean, technically, that's the only email you can send before they officially become audience members, and I would highly recommend it. Although you'll definitely have a smaller audience, but they're more likely to be leads than rather than just audience members.
Okay. So moving on to the next question. How do you activate an automatic response?
Activate an automatic response via on Mailchimp. Like, so,
That's
if someone replies to my email, and I send an automatic response to them. In my
I
knowledge, I don't know actually.
I think it might be referring to the automated emails. So if there's this particular action that they take to trigger that automated email, there is an automation sort of tab on Mailchimp that you can go through step by step to create those automated emails. An example of it would be if they make a transaction and you want to send them the confirmation email, you can create an automated email for that so that you don't have to manually be the one creating that email. Mailchimp will create it for you and send it out.
Yeah. So yeah, you just configure what trigger you want it to want to send the email, and that's it.
Okay. Next question. How do you connect your Mailchimp to your social media?
It's simple. So in the integrations tab, at the bottom, as I showed you during the presentation, if you go under social media, there's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You just click it and you just connect it. I mean, you just when you integrate, all it requires to integrate is you just log into your Facebook, and it takes a couple seconds, and they're synced. That's it.
Okay, awesome. So we have reached the end of our questions for today, and it is 11:08 a.m., so we are over time. But if there were any last minute questions, feel free to put them through the chat. If not, we can definitely wrap up the session since we are over time. Okay, so we had one question come through. I built my email list through Facebook ads. I created an opt-in and I gave a tip sheet in exchange for their email address. So subscribers gave permission to be added to my email list and receive emails. This was a very successful way to build my list.
Yeah, completely agree. That's an amazing. It's kind of where you give them something of value, and that kind of entices them to sign up to your email list. And I think that's a really great tip. If there was anyone listening in terms of small businesses, I would highly recommend doing something similar to that as well.
Mhm. And I guess someone wants some clarification on a question we answered previously. So they're saying that there was 2,000 per one bulk email, and they meant to say that they have 5,000 emails. So they're wondering if they can send all of them twice.
Pardon. So what do you mean by send them all twice? Can you repeat the question, please, if you don't mind?
I think this was in reference to a previously answered question. So they're saying that they've got 2,000 for one bulk email, and they've got 5,000, I guess, subscribers.
Okay.
They're wondering if they can send the email marketing campaign twice.
Send it twice. So I
So
mean,
I guess you're only able to send out 2,000 emails, right?
oh, for the free.
For the free. Yeah.
Yes. Then
They have
yeah,
5,000 subscribers.
those are 5,000 subscribers. I'd highly recommend upgrading. And I mean, if like you're receiving a lot of traction with these subscribers, I mean, it's more than worth it to subscribe. I believe the next plan up is like $9.99 a month USD, or it's $11. Sorry, yeah, $11 a month. I mean, I believe it's worth it at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you've got 5,000 subscribers, it's definitely worth it to upgrade. Okay. Seeing as we don't have any more questions that have come through, I just want to thank everyone for attending today's session. We do have one more coming up on February 2nd on Google My Business. And yeah, and also just another reminder to follow us on social media at Mississauga EDO on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn to be informed of any future upcoming webinars. And again, thank you, and see everyone on February 2nd.